citizen or a citizen of the several states, meaning the state of the Union, or if you don't know about that, then you are a United States citizen because you have not expressed that you are capable of maintaining a what's called a major estate. Okay, once you take control of your major estate, that means that you have your own trust, and all of your property is uh, all of your assets are enclosed within your trust, and that you're capable of operating on that level. You have to be able to do that, right? So once you learn about how all that stuff, and this is why it's a trap, because all of the information about how to do that has been locked behind a paywall. Like you have to pay millions of dollars for your education in order to learn this stuff, right? It is real stuff though, and you can go into the United States codes, and you can go in to the federal laws, and the very specific, you know, section and all that details of the law itself, and you can see that this is true, but you have to understand legal language. Legal language is how they have clouded the waters, so things that we say, commonplace words, mean something else in legal language, and they have made it very, very difficult to do that. And this is why it's fraud and why it's treason. There is both sides. People are doing it right now, okay? But they are not people who go off half cocked thinking, well, I'm not going to do any of this. I'm not going to study. I'm not going to learn. I'm not going to do anything. I just want the rights that I'm supposed to have, and I'm just going to fucking do what I want, right? They get caught up, arrested, go to jail, and everyone calls them a sovereign citizen. And that term is not a real thing. That's not anything. That's not the title of anything. Nobody who knows anything about what I'm talking about considers themselves a sovereign citizen. You are a state citizen. You are a part of the American territory. You swear allegiance to America. You swear allegiance to Canada, right? You swear allegiance to the state, Ontario, or wherever you live, right? Uh, and I don't know what the original government structure was in Canada when you guys left from wherever the fuck you come from and you come over here, right?
The same as you guys. The
But I'm
mostly
assuming
British in
that
France. It's the
you,
same as you guys.
you spread out across the land and established different territories, which then came together in a union. I'm guessing something like that, right?
Yeah, we
They
formed government. We formed a
like
government called
mutual
Canada that
defense,
has provinces and
right?
territories. Yep.
Right. So so provinces are likely your version of municipal government,
Well, it's
while
the state. Yeah.
territory is the land. Not and even on a state level. This goes all the way from your local government all the way up to quote unquote federal level, okay? So the name of your city, right? Let's just say it's the city of Ontario, right? It's the city of Ontario. And then, well, let me just do my version of it because I don't understand how Canada stuff works. So here, Iowa State is the territorial jurisdiction. Iowa State. And then
Yeah.
the state of Iowa. And of has a very specific legal meaning, right? That means something that was created by the state. So, state of Iowa.
Yeah, of the people of Iowa, if you want to get.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
because the
The power
government
to
is
create
the
that state
people.
entity come from
I
the people.
understand. Yeah, I get it.
Right. So this is where everybody's like, oh, they think that they don't have to follow any laws. And what they're not understanding is that, at least over here, they're called statutes, right? Uh, the Uniform Commercial Code and statutes and acts and ordinances, these are not laws. None of those are laws. They are acts and statutes and ordinances. And if you look into the definitions of what those words mean, those are all corporate bylaw things. That is corporate structure stuff. People don't understand the difference in between law, which is clearly defined in the Book of Styles, right? There's all kinds of stuff. I can't do it all. I'm ADHD. I can't do it all at once. I've learned it over time, and I can't remember it when I want to, and that's why I have never stepped outside of the lines of what I'm allowed to do as a United States citizen, because I'm not a traitor, right? I don't know how to establish and or maintain my major estate. If I was able to, then I would have a trust, and then I would convey all of my property into the trust. My trust would have a trustee and a beneficiary, right? The beneficiary would be the family, because I would want to do things not for myself, but for other people, right? And this structure makes you a sovereign, because because then you're also conveying into the trust your identity and your birth record, which is a certificate of live birth, also known as the long form birth certificate, right? Because there's a short form and there's a long form, and they do have different purposes lawfully and legally, which also, by the way, are not the same thing. Lawfully and legal, not lawful. Not There's no word of law in it. It's legal, and legal stuff is corporate stuff. And all of this stuff is researchable. You can find it on like common educational websites. It's hard to find though. And when you do find it, it's hard to understand. It's intentionally convoluted. Does that make sense to you? They've and
Yep.
and while they're making all of this quote unquote knowledge, right? It should be our right. The knowledge that to do this stuff should be our right. They should not be able to take that knowledge and secret it away. But they have. And that's the fraud. And that's what's really going on. So Donald Trump does not represent Americans, the United States, which is a fraudulent company that's actually gone bankrupt. And they're masquerading across the world. While at the same time, the republic still exists, but it's not forced. However, there are people that are doing something about that.
Shit.
Okay?
Oh no, he
On
hurt
a
me.
lawful level, each state is compiling members of an assembly to represent the living man, basically, instead of dead corporate entities. Basically, what they do is they take your mother's uh, uh, what do you call it? The sack that the baby's in, placenta, and they create this corporate entity saying that it's dead, and they take its blood and sell it for like 50, 60, 80 grand. See, there's all kinds of crazy satanic fucking shit going on, and I don't want to go off the deep end. I'm trying to have a coherent, legal only kind of soiree on the subject. You know, I don't want to get into all the fucking really bad shit that it stems off of, or and why the whys of it are irrelevant right now. I don't want you to think that. I really, I feel like I do have a duty to try and convince people of what's going on. And trust me, I grew up as like proud American boy, loved that we came here and we sat down and had a meal with the kids and traded, and from that trade became a great nation. Lies, all lies. Your lies whole life. Not just the people who come to the American side, but the people that came to the Canadian side. Like, what they're telling you about your history is lies. From and over here, our first historical president was George Washington. There was many presidents before him, and they don't teach us about that. And it's a fact that you can look at before the
Well, what
fact.
about all the
That
indigenous people? Like,
exactly, there was a government here. There was an invasion and a fucking massacre. That's what really happened. Over 100 million natives, at least over here. I'm sure there was similar numbers, if not a little less, over there just due to climate.
oh,
You
Canada's
know what I
full
mean?
of natives.
Right, but due to climate, it
Ah,
lets
fuck.
people, you know, it's less hospitable. You know what I mean? The northern regions of Canada are pretty fucking harsh.
I think our density, yeah, it was.
Yeah, yeah, right. Whereas across the United States, it's, you know, it's pretty well spread out.
But we had the buffalo running across the Saskatchewan and Manitoba. We had buffalo.
Well,
Um,
yeah, there
we
used to
we
be here
have
too.
we have huge grasslands in Canada also, right? Where
So
you guys, some of your land is actually taken up by desert, where ours isn't. We don't have
well,
a.
yeah,
I
but
think we have
it's
one
taken
tiny
up by
little desert
mountains and
somewhere.
forest and like
But
uninhabitable like wildlands. Like it's dangerous for a human to just be out there without a firearm. Like
yeah,
there's places in Canada.
the Inuit.
There's tons. Yeah, there's tons of spots like that in Canada where it's just in his spot inhospitable to human life. You know, and people don't
Yeah, I
live
think
there
it's
because
crazy
it's
how
hard to
the
live
Inuit
there.
lived. How some of them are still living. I've watched lots of videos
Oh yeah,
of
oh
them
yeah. They're
putting up their yurts and shit like that, or their
mm-hmm.
teepees or whatever they're using, yurts and stuff. It's more of a yurt that they use, but it's crazy. They put down all the seal skins on the ground on the ice.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking crazy, fucking
Yep.
crazy. But yeah, anyways. But they were a lot of tribes were at war, like and there wasn't information exchange like now. You know what I mean? Like they didn't. It's an oral history when you go back far enough. It becomes an oral. There's no recorded papers, you know, like besides some there's cave drawings, like I guess, but you know, the natives even like 4,000 years ago weren't recording a government. Like there wasn't people walking around with papers exchanging ideas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, do you think that's a lie? What I just said?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Say.
I don't know if I can say it again.
Generalize.
Fuck. I keep missing this
I'm
game.
sorry. I'm
Let's
so
go.
sorry. I didn't mean to. I got attention problems. I heard something and I got distracted. I'm sorry, Bogart. I hate it when this happens to me. I'm really sorry.
Um
when I say a bunch of stuff, and then it happened earlier.